Meagan Mermaid. Now, Meagan Mermaid she has a ton of talents. Her main focus is galactical guide, astrologer, channel, Oracle of the Mermaids of Sirius. But I'm going to give you a quick bio from her website because it really shows who she is. And Meagan Mermaid, mindset coach and galactical guide. She supports beings to heal their hearts and manifest their dream life, and that's her ultimate passion. So her curriculum is empowerment and combines feminine energy, which is great for today, esoteric teachings, and modern manifestation principles to activate the soul's unique energetic blueprint. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Meagan in.
Great. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. So, welcome everyone. As Rob so beautifully introduced me, my name is Meagan Mermaid, and I am a channel and galactic guide. And my role is supporting star beings and connecting with their divine purpose, activating their creative genius, and receiving the support that they deserve from their star family. So, when I was asked to be on this talk today, there were so many different opportunities where I could speak about and go into. But what I really was getting from my guides is that we're going to talk today about starseeds and their role in the evolution of humanity. So I wanted to first talk about what a starseed is. So, star seeds are energetic beings that feel that they are not from this earth plane. So, you could feel like you've always been a little bit different. Maybe you've connected with galactic energy before, or you just feel connected to other places. You might also be empathic or intuitive, and a starseed has many, many roles, especially depending on where the specific star nation is. But overall, a starseed's role is to activate the energetic blueprint of their star nation here on Earth. So, what that means is that we have chosen to come to Earth at this time, and Earth is a school. So, we've decided to learn different initiations and forget for a brief period who we are and our cosmic role, our cosmic identity. And the reason for this is because we are assisting in the awakening of humanity. And for that to occur, there have to be beings that have already been not necessarily better, but just a few steps ahead in that process in order to guide and light the way for others. So, as a star seed, you have an energetic soul blueprint. This is a DNA blueprint that is connected to your star nation and activates certain light frequencies and light codes. And so, as you begin to awaken to who you are as a star seed and awaken these light codes, what it's doing is alchemizing the energy grid of this planet and allowing others to see that they too may also have their own unique energetic blueprint. So there are an individual and a collective purpose for star seeds. The collective purpose, as we talked about briefly, is this awakening of humanity, which means that we're here to create that tipping point of light and dark. And Earth, or Gaia as we call it, is home to many, many species, and as well as other galactic entities and beings. And not all of the agendas here are for our highest good. And this is why we as star seeds have chosen to come here to create that tipping point, that balance in the energetic grid. So some of us simply have a role of being that light, being that energy, so that we can alchemize the forces that are trying to create harm or destruction. Others of us may have a more specific role where we're called to be leaders or teachers or activists. And you will know that there is something deep within you that is calling to you, even if you don't know exactly what that is. But one of the biggest things that you're going to have to overcome as you accept your role as a star seed is that you are different. You are bringing through energy and information and visionary knowledge that no one in this earth plane has ever seen before. So, one of the roles of the dark agendas is to keep us small, to keep us from realizing that potential by distracting us or taking us away from our two most powerful gifts, which is our emotional guidance system and our intuition. So, as we step into the power of our starseed energy, one of the biggest obstacles that we will face is learning to trust our intuition, learning to trust that even if no one else is talking about the things that we are, even if no one else has seen this information, that we are the water bearers, as we would talk about in astrology. Aquarius or Uranus, the planet of the water bearer, is all about bringing in this new information. So, this is why we must go through a series of initiatory experiences to remember our purpose, to remember our path, and to heal our darkness. So, a lot of us as starseeds, when we begin to awaken, are going to go through what many have called a dark night of the soul. And this is when you discover what is actually in alignment with your soul's true purpose and where you've been hiding out or where you have failed to see where you're supposed to be because of unhealed trauma. So, it takes a lot of unpacking, it takes a lot of unraveling, and it takes a lot of patience and compassion. This is a two-step process because first the starseed must go through their own inner healing, and through that inner healing, they will discover how they're up to be of support to humanity. So, as you go through this healing, one of the things that I teach in my curriculum and my forthcoming book, Mermaid Mystery School and Mermaid Mindset Makeover, is that it's important to become your best friend, your biggest fan, and your head cheerleader, because this journey is going to be so much easier when you discover that self-care is not only necessary, but it's actually protection. You are here if you identify as a starseed to support and help thousands, maybe even millions of people. And sometimes that can feel challenging to accept. So that's why we may distract ourselves, go through all of these other methods, but nothing will truly satisfy you until you are living in divine alignment with your path and your purpose. So, in order to do this, you must also discover that you are here to support and help others. And this is why self care is so important. Because if we continue to help and to support others without giving to ourselves, without taking time to integrate, number one, we are going to get burnt out, resentful, tired, but we're also going to be open to the interference of those dark agendas, because there is something that's happening all of the time in our consciousness, in our collective energy, where these forces are looking for any opportunities to infiltrate our mind, our being, our hearts. And so there's going to be all sorts of opportunities where you will see, we actually can call these holographic inserts, where it's almost like a holographic space that is inserted into the matrix that we're in, that is like a trigger or a test. So you might discover that you're feeling amazing one day, and then all of a sudden a person comes along, and usually it's a close friend or a family member or a partner, someone that we are very connected to, and it will incite a conflict or it will incite some type of projection. And so in these moments, we have to understand that there is a greater play that is happening here. And this is where we have to remember that as Earth being a school, we are in class every moment of every day. And how we show up to these experiences is everything. Because as a starseed, it's not about fixing people. It's not about giving someone dogma and saying, this is how you do this and this is how you do that. And that's another agenda that the dark energies want to infiltrate us with, is this energy of separation. And so they'll do that by really filling our ego. It's very easy to get off the path of being of service to where our ego takes over and thinks, I'm better, I know more. And this is the dance that we have to constantly humble ourselves to, is that we're not here to fix. We're here to guide. We are here to be heart to heart chakra, compassionately, kindly, available, and aware to the people that we're here to heal. And this may feel very challenging because as a starseed, it's very likely that you have been placed in a family or in a work environment or any other type of situation where you feel alone, where you feel isolated, where you feel different. And so that part of us that wants to be accepted is going to look to those people in our environment to receive that. And every single time we do that, it's going to lead to disappointment, to sadness, to heartbreak. And we will continue to go through these same patterns because when we go through a pattern here on Earth, we have to continue the karmic cycle until it becomes neutralized. And we neutralize it by stepping into it. And you'll notice because you'll attract the same types of people or the same types of experiences until you master a lesson and you find the pearl of wisdom. So one of the greatest things that you can discover as a starseed is that you must stop looking for the outside external world, especially in your home or your family life, for validation. You can't look for validation from the people that you came here to heal. And this is where the journey of self-discovery and trusting your intuition and becoming your best friend is so important because we are here on the front lines of an intergalactic battle. And yes, it's been happening for eons, but we are at a very pivotal moment where how we show up in every moment is making a huge difference in the entire world, and not only here on Gaia, but the entire universe. Everything that we are showing up to is pretty much dependent on how we decide to embody this energy. And I don't say this to scare you, but I say this to really allow you to see how important your role is. Now, you may have a particular purpose or a goal or a mission, and that's wonderful. But sometimes we get so lost in the idea of needing to accomplish this, or once I reach this goal, or have this book, or this talk, or whatever it is that your soul really wants to create in this world. That's wonderful, but it's actually a byproduct of the energetic blueprint, which is embodying love and embodying compassion. So, how do we activate this energetic soul blueprint? A lot of this is done through healing and through self awareness and through recognizing that we are different, that we are connected to this galactic energy. But once we do that, we discover that we're not alone. And you have so much support and help in the galaxy. So, as a star seed, part of your mission and your soul contract was to connect with both your star family and your home planet, as well as the Galactic Federation of Light. And the Galactic Federation of Light is sort of like the UN of the multiverse, and they support all star nations in treaties and agreements so that we can contribute to the law of one consciousness, where we are all working towards a greater evolution, a greater understanding for all. And so when you decided to come here to Earth as a star seed, the Galactic Federation of Light supported you in this contract. And so by doing so, you agreed that all of your resources, everything that you would need to accomplish this mission would be met. But in order to accept all of these offerings that are a part of our divine destiny, because we are in a free will universe, we have to ask for it. We have to say, I am open and available. And it can be very, very simple. I don't want you to complicate it because oftentimes when we start to complicate things, then we create these boundaries where we're setting ourselves up for failure and we won't do it. So make it as simple. Simplicity is one of the best things that we can remember. So just say, I call on the Galactic Federation of Light and I call on my star family. Support me, show me how to get to where I need to go to receive the resources that I need, whatever it is that's important to you. So let's go back a step. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the term star family, your star family is your soul family from the galactic realm, and they are here almost as your employees. So it's sort of, we can think of it this way, where you are the CEO in charge of this mission, and you have your spirit guides, you have your soul family. Perhaps if you work with the angelic realm or the elementals or ascended masters, that is all a part of your team. And so when you employ, Doreen Virtue once said, when she was still advocating for her work, which she's changed and all, but originally she had said that there's a lot of unemployed angels. And that is because of the law of free will here, where we have to employ our team. We have to call on that support. And so then as the CEO, you start to say, hey, show me what to do. And your star family, if you've seen the Hunger Games or movies like that, it's like sponsors where they can send little gifts that you can receive, and they'll connect you to the right people. They will allow you to just take some of this burden off of your shoulders. Starseeds, number one, have to recognize how important they are, stop judging themselves for being different, and allow in that support. Sometimes we think that we can do it all on our own, and it's just not possible, and it's not going to lead to long-term success. So when we call upon our star family, they can help to break down this really big vision, this really big idea, into small, achievable action steps. And you will notice that as you begin to connect with starseed energy, and as you begin to accept your galactic heritage, that working with the star nations is very different than you might believe. What they're here to guide us in and teach us in is how to be better humans. That's what we came here to do. That's what we came here to embody. So, part of your mission, yes, you're here to awaken humanity and you're here to do all of these amazing things, but we are also a human in a body, and we get to enjoy this experience here on Earth. We get to enjoy because our body is the vehicle for our ascension. So, one of the things, the pitfalls, I would say, about this starseed energy that we embody is that we feel safer in the higher chakras. We feel safer connected to these realms, even if you might not be aware that that's where you're going. But we are here to be of service in our bodies, learning how to be successful humans. It's almost like our human is our disguise, but in order to fit into this society, to fit into this matrix, we have to show up as very successful, very embodied examples of human consciousness. That is the way that we are going to awaken others. So, yes, we pay our bills and our taxes, and we do all of the things, and we show up for the things that we need to do. But underneath this, we have a consciousness where Jesus, who is also a starseed, he's a Pleiadian starseed, taught that we are in this world, but not of it. And so when we think of that in the galactic sense, we are here on as boots on the ground, aliens in disguise that are creating very, very successful human lives. Right now, there are a lot of people that are suffering, and they're stuck in this. That's why we were sent here. We were sent here not to judge people or say, why are they doing this? Or why can't they just wake up? Or why are they eating this food? Or why aren't they, aware of this cause? Like, what is wrong with these people? Sometimes our ego will take us to those places. That's the shadow side that we have to accept. But when those types of thoughts come in, we have to choose to shift and say, okay, how can I love? How can I serve? How can I give? What is this person teaching me about myself? What is this person teaching me about what I still need to heal so that I can show up and be this successful human? We have to show others that it's possible at this time to not only thrive, but to do so operating, as the Syrians would say, at optimal levels of frequency. So that takes a lot of self mastery. And that's one of the things that your star family can support you in, is figuring out what is your earth regimen. When do you need to go to sleep? How many hours do you need to sleep? They're almost like the head of your boot camp. They're going to guide you in what is the best diet for you. And it's all going to be different, especially because each of us, many of us are hybrids, but as we come from different star nations, there's going to be things that we need to be successful in this earth plane. So your star family can support you in that. They're also going to show you how you can take your giant visions, these big, wonderful purposes that you have, that dream in your heart, and how to say, okay, this is the step that needs to be completed today. This is who you need to speak with. Once you complete this, this is the next thing, and this is the next thing. So we have two options in this matrix. We can be complainers or we can be creators. And so when we are fully embodying our energetic soul blueprint, this is when we embody the energy of creativity, where we discover that we are here with a specific passion, something that we're here to share with the world. So if you're a Syrian, it could be very specific. For example, I'm Syrian and I have curriculums, I have books, I have teachings that want to come through me. Pleiadians might be very different, where you're here to embody the energy of love. You're here to embody the heart chakra. So you will be guided to places that light you up, that light your heart up. There are all sorts of star nations and all sorts of missions. But as you start this shadow work, this healing, this unraveling, this discovering why you are here, it is this mirroring and this balancing of your individual purpose, and then taking those passions, those things that you're naturally drawn to, those things that you would do even if you weren't paid, and figuring out how to use them in service to humanity. So how do you know if you're a starseed? Well, if you're watching this, if you feel connected even to the word starseed, it's very likely that you have a starseed heritage. And there are many, many starseeds all over the world. And right now, they've been placed strategically because, as I shared, the energy grid is being activated by the energy that we give off. So if you felt different, if you felt strange, perhaps your psychic gifts have been very activated. Perhaps you're very introverted. There's all sorts of ways that you might identify as a starseed, but the number one thing that you want to ask is, what does your intuition say? Because when we tune in and we connect to the voice of our higher self, we will begin to hear very clearly what those messages are and what our truth is. And so if you're a starseed, it's very likely that you just know. You may not know how you know, but you just know. And one of the beautiful gifts of starseed energy is that you are very tuned in to your multidimensional identity and your multidimensional gifts. So once you start to just accept that, yeah, you can come out of the starseed closet and it's okay to believe these things, even if it's different, even if you're completely different from everyone else around you, that's what you chose. That was a part of your soul contract. So once you discover that you're a starseed, now it's time to figure out what you're here to do, what lights you up, and how can you connect to a community, which is another very important thing. And so talks like this, live streams like this, social media platforms, anything that you can do to start to tune in and connect with other star beings is so vital and so important, because the dark energies at this time, they want to separate us. They want to isolate us, and they want to feel that we're alone. And so even if you are alone in your immediate family or in your workplace or wherever you're at, if you're the different one, part of your self-care is going to be connecting and finding your tribe. And this is why it's so beautiful to be in this virtual space, in this virtual era that we're in, because it's so much easier than it would have been otherwise. So our biggest obstacle, as I shared as a starseed, is to trust our intuition. So the dark agendas have, from a very early on time in your life, have probably chosen it to distract you. Perhaps you went through very difficult experiences in early childhood, and you may not even remember what those are. But oftentimes, as a starseed, you have chosen not only to heal your own karma, but also your ancestral lineage. So this can be very, very challenging. We have to be so patient with ourselves and understand that we're going to go through cycles of integration and then cycles of up leveling and integration. Up leveling and integration. So you may be at a point where you feel amazing. And in those moments, you want to really feel into that energy, feel and enjoy this moment without worrying about what's going to happen in the next moment or thinking about anything else. What if this will be taken away? There's all sorts of ways that we distract ourselves from the present moment. But we enjoy these moments where things are going amazing. And then when a challenge comes, that's when we have to use our tools and our connection to our body and understand that this too shall pass. Because when we are on this healing journey, it's going to unravel layer by layer by layer in what you are ready to accept and what you are ready to receive. So as we're doing this work, this cosmic healing work, there may be moments where you attract situations that you thought that you've healed, and then all of a sudden they're back. But the reason for this is because you are at a space of completion. You're resolving it finally. As I shared with karma, it needs to be neutralized. So if you can use the moments when things are amazing to create techniques, whether it's tapping or meditation or going out into nature, journaling, whatever self-care is for you. Then when you get into these difficult situations, or what I had referred to earlier in the broadcast as holographic inserts, which also may be what is occurring in this moment, you will be in a space of protection. So I'm doing a guided journey this month with the Octurians. And the Octurians are all about the inner workings of the mind. They're all about really understanding how things work. And when they came to me to do this month's journey, they wanted me to share about what it means to be the cosmic warrior. And so we are moving out of a stage of worrying into becoming a warrior, seeding new earth. And so that means being fully present in our bodies and ready to face these situations head on with these tools that we have cultivated, with the energy work, the self-love, the self-care, all of the things that are necessary. Because as I shared, we are in this intergalactic war, this battle that is taking place, and it's happening interdimensionally. So we're not going to see it. It's not like we're actually in this frontline situation where everything is clear to us. It is energetic. We have to moment by moment listen and tune into how we feel. And when something is off, that's when we connect with our emotional guidance system. So, our emotional guidance system is what allows us to overpower and dismantle the matrix. The matrix is built upon this collective hive mind where we give away our personal power to this other entity that feeds off of our energy and creates these holographic inserts, these simulations that pull from our personal power. And we have no idea that this is happening. And so, when we tune in to our emotions, our intuition, we are able to dismantle this frequency and tune into our energetic soul blueprint because we are aware of what this situation in front of us is creating within our body, within our mind, and within our spirit. Also, when we connect to our emotional guidance system, this is how we manifest. Everything in our world, once we become the co creator of this reality, is manifested through our thoughts, which become feelings, which emit vibrations that magnetize energies to us that then create form. So everything that you're seeing in your current reality is past thoughts. And a lot of the thoughts that are being fed into the collective consciousness are thoughts of unworthiness, thoughts of powerlessness, thoughts of fear. And so we are asked as the cosmic warrior to pull our energy up so much that we can overcome this. And this is why self-care is the most important part of this journey. It's our protection. We're doing big work, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be moment by moment, thought by thought, choice by choice. This mission that you have is big. You decided to come to Earth in one of the biggest moments in the history of not only humanity, but every species that has ever existed and will ever exist. So that means that being present in your body is the most important thing that you can do. And realizing that when you are present, when you are listening to your emotions, when you are tuning into your emotional guidance system, everything that you need will come to you at the right moment. And you'll be able to trust it, to listen to that intuitive hit, and to know this is what I need to do. This is where I need to focus on. This person feels off. This situation feels off. It's this constant trusting, this listening, this tuning in. But it's going to take practice to get to this space of self-mastery. And this is why, in order to become that cosmic warrior, you must take control of your reality by taking control of your body. As Assyrians teach, we must be operating at optimal levels of frequency. And what that means is that you have to treat your body as this amazing vessel for your consciousness that it is. You've got to be taking care of your body, moving your body, be in your body, but not just all of this stuff of like work and routine, but you've also got to be giving yourself rest and joy and pleasure and play. So, what the Mermaids of Sirius teach, which I am the ordained oracle for the Mermaids of Sirius, and they're a collective voice of angelic beings that stem from the Syrian star nation. And their message is about self-love, self-forgiveness, and self-mastery. And they teach that spirituality and sensuality go hand in hand. And the reason for this, as I've shared, is that our bodies are the vehicle for our ascension. So when we get troubled by these unproductive thoughts, when we have fear, when we have doubt, when we are up against these challenging situations in our reality that are testing us, that are shaping us, what we can do is tune in to the senses, get back into our body. What can we see? What can we hear? What can we taste? What can we smell? And how can we invite the energy of beauty into what it is that we are doing? And so, on this journey, number one, it's realizing, yes, we're in this intergalactic battle. Yes, it's important. And yes, it is serious to a degree. But it's almost like we have to learn all of this information and then forget it and learn how to become present in this moment. And that's where the self-mastery comes from, because it's how can you create joy when everything around you feels chaotic? How can you be present when there's noise and destruction and all of this calamity that's happening? Because it's this tuning in and developing this relationship with our heart, with our intuition, asking our star families to come in, that allows us to be that cosmic warrior. And the cosmic warrior is here to have fun, to enjoy life. We're here to thrive. We are at a space now where we no longer have to learn through suffering. We are here to learn through beauty and through joy and through play and through fun. So we also have to dismantle all of the limiting beliefs that it's not safe to be successful, it's not safe to be abundant, and it's not safe to enjoy our reality when others are suffering. Yes, we need to support all of the people that are going through difficult situations, but it is an inside job. It starts with us, and it starts with accepting how powerful we are and how our joy is the highest vibration. Also, as we become more abundant, we're going to be here to serve many people. So we're going to need abundance. The more that we can be abundant, the more we can offer and give to others, and that we can do so from a higher consciousness. Again, it's that tipping point. It's allowing people to see that there is another option. But one of the other things that we need to be mindful of, to be mindful of in this journey, is that we will have a tendency, especially as we begin to wake up, to want to share everything that we know with everyone. But we have to realize that not everyone is on the same level of consciousness. So we are here to interfere as little as possible. It's an inside job of cultivating your energy, cultivating your etheric body, showing that option. But do not give this information to others if they don't ask for it. Don't try to fix people in your situations, because oftentimes they might not be ready, or they may need to go through that complicated situation. We don't know what other people's soul contracts are. So we can be available, we can be there, we can be kind, but we can't do the work for them. And oftentimes, this need to want to help or fix other people in our environment is a codependent need. It's a feeling that if I am helpful, if I'm giving this person something, then I'll be accepted, then I'll be needed. And what have I shared in this broadcast? That one of our biggest obstacles and our greatest strength is our uniqueness, is our difference, is our recognizing that the information that is coming through us, whether it is simply an energy or it's words or a vibration or creativity, whatever it is new. It is unique. So we must accept it within ourselves first. And as we learn to accept it, that codependent need to fix or to change what is happening around us will start to dissipate. And instead, we can co-create with others. We can be that example. We can shine our light. And the more of us that start to awaken, the more that this tipping point will start to happen. And what I want you to consider is that a lot of times there are certain things that are being highlighted, for example, in the Ukraine right now, but that's just one area. And oftentimes when a lot of the collective consciousness's energy is being placed in one area, it is because there's other things that are happening throughout the world. So one of the greatest practices that you can do is to quiet your mind in meditation, to imagine that all of this light is pouring out through you, and it begins to go out of your body into your home, into your neighborhoods, into your communities, into your cities, into your countries, into the entire world, filling the entire world with this blanket of white light. If all of us are doing that, we don't need to know what the atrocities are. We don't need to have the details. All we need to do is send out the information that is needed at this time, and it will get to where it's supposed to go. So again, a lot of this is beginning to take responsibility for the fact that we're not better than anyone. We've just chosen to be way showers, which means that we must take responsibility for every thought, every feeling, and every emotion on this journey. We can't blame other people. If someone is triggering you, they're a lesson. They're here to show you what you're here to heal. And a lot of the times, the things that we're here to heal are going to be a part of our story. They're going to be what we help other people through. And that's why, again, I'll just keep going back to this self-care, because we need to love ourselves through this process. We need to understand that it is not easy. It's not always easy to be a starseed here on Earth. It's not always easy to feel different, to feel out of place, to feel like you don't belong. But we chose this for a reason. And we chose this because once we remembered, we knew that we had the tools and the power and the guidance and the support to not only heal our past, heal our ancestral line, but to be fully present and to enjoy our life and to seed this new earth. And New Earth is not a place. We're not going to be taken in some spaceship to a whole different place, and everybody else that doesn't believe what we believe is just going to be stuck here. It's a consciousness. So we're going to go in and out of this New Earth consciousness all day long. You know, sometimes we're going to feel very high vibes. Sometimes we're going to have compassion and kindness for others. And other times it may feel like we're going backwards. But we need to love that part within us and know that we're not going backwards. It's just another layer that's been revealed, another layer to love and to heal and accept. So when we begin to thank those lessons, thank the people in our life, especially the ones that trigger us, we're going to go through this journey much deeper, much happier, and much more fulfilled. Self-mastery. Self-mastery is all about recognizing that we are in control of all of our thoughts and all of our emotions. So again, I know someone had shared about the Mermaids of Sirius. I'll be happy to share. So the Mermaids of Sirius are supporting us in self-mastery through self-forgiveness and through self-love. So each of them represents a chakra. Mermaid Zoe represents the root chakra, and it's all about accepting that it's safe to be in our body, that it's safe to be who we are. And then Mermaid Arista represents our soul, or excuse me, our sacral chakra. And so the energy here is about beauty and creativity. The solar plexus is all about empowering our mission by loving the fins that we're in. And Mermaid Jade is the one that coordinates that and supports us in that. Mermaid Mariposa is all about the heart and awakening this heart consciousness, realizing that people that have gone through difficult situations are not bad. They're just hurt. And when we discover that compassion for ourselves and that compassion for others, that kindness is the energy of our energetic blueprint. It's not in words. We're not here to give somebody a dissertation of this is what you should believe and this is when you should do this. The energy speaks for itself, and Mermaid Mariposa teaches all about that. Then Mermaid Carmen is the mermaid of the throat chakra. And so what she teaches is how every word that we speak is speaking our reality into being, and that our story is our greatest gift. So she guides us in how to take all of the energy, all of the challenges that we've went through. And she works with Mermaid Arista because the sacral chakra and the throat chakra are working together in creating beauty. All of the things, all of the difficulties, all of the sufferings that we've gone through, when we use them to create beauty and we speak that beauty, we speak what we've gone through and how we've overcome it. That's how we awaken people. Then we have Mermaid Sage that represents and governs the third eye chakra. And she allows us to open to new visionary experiences and to trust our intuitive gifts. And Mermaid Andrina is the mermaid of our crown chakra and allows us to open and receive and download information from our star families and our guides and to hear the voice of our higher self. Mermaid Blossom represents our etheric body. And so she is the first mermaid that starts to allow us to connect and to feel the energetic impulses of what is around us and how to create a co-creative relationship with that. So I have a digital course called Mermaid Mindset Makeover. And this is the first of my mermaid teachings, where it is a course in how to create self-mastery through the energy of these mermaids by developing this awareness of all of the thoughts that you think. And my forthcoming book, Mermaid Mystery School, is going to be an outline of how to work with each of these chakras and how to embody the energy of mermaid consciousness. So mermaid consciousness is all about embodying the energy of play and the energy of joy and to learn through bliss. And one of the mermaid empowerments is I embody the bliss of my soul's true purpose. And so, what they teach is that when we are aligned with our energetic soul blueprint, when we are embodying the self mastery, this is what Michael Beckwith once called blissipline, where it's all of the discipline of being in our body, of going through all of the rigorous training that it takes to hold the high frequency energy, to embody and accept the bigness of our starseed mission. From that place, we get to experience bliss. We get to experience joy, beingness, presence. We actually get to enjoy this mission. We actually get to have fun. And so the mermaids work with the High Council of Sirian elders in creating this balance between, opening to higher and higher levels of frequency and to take out these or to take on these very important roles that we have here, but also to not take ourselves so seriously, to play, to laugh, to have fun, and to embody the energy of the mermaid, which is all about the innocence of our body and the power of our femininity. And what is the energy of the divine feminine and femininity? It's our intuition, it's receptivity, it's receiving all of the power that our intuitive guidance and our heart and our emotions are guiding us to in every moment. So, when you work with the Mermaids of Sirius, they will allow you to love the fins that you're in, to sparkle and shine in your own unique embodiment, and to accept yourself exactly as you are. Because once we accept ourselves as star seeds, once we really choose to be exactly who we came here to be, those weird little magical beings that we are, then we become vibrationally aligned with all of the people that are going to serve us, all of the people that are a part of our mission. As I've shared today, we don't have to do this alone. We have guides, we have other star beings here that are on this path with you. You are not alone and you are not isolated. You are so supported and so loved. And so I just want you to know that wherever you're at in this moment, whether you have just heard the term starseed or you feel like you've been on this journey forever, that wherever you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be. And that the more that you love yourself through this journey, the more that you enjoy it, the more that you become present, the more that you are going to easily attract all of the things that you need. And this is how we seed New Earth, by choosing to do it through joy and through fun and through bliss.
I saw you pause for a second, and I just have to say that this has been so amazing. You filled the room with love and compassion, and also showing people that it's not always easy to be on this path. And I think what you said about the information not always being ready for other people because everybody's at a different stage and everybody has their own like threshold. I think that's so important. It's so important. And it was such a beautiful message. I just wanted to say it was awesome.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of the biggest things, and I want to really make sure that it doesn't mean that we have to be secretive about this information or ashamed of it, but that we will know intuitively who is ready and what is ready to be received at what time.
Absolutely. And I think this is one of the biggest obstacles that we have going through this awakening process is you want to reach out to those around you and say, "Hey, wake up." Shake them out of like that matrix. But really sometimes it's not for them to do that. They're not ready for that yet. And I think it's our intention to want to lift those around us up, but to understand that you may have to find the threshold to really engage them at that level or figure out what makes them go past that regular point of just that self routine type of mentality.
Exactly. And I love that you shared that because, part of our purpose as a star seed is being a good human. And so, sometimes people don't need the information. They need to be heard or they need to be listened to or they need someone to take them somewhere and because their car is not working. So it's just what is the practical thing that we can do that is going to embody this energy and speak for itself?
That's awesome. I love how you went through the Mermaids of Sirius too. That's just, you don't hear that often because I know that you channel through that, and it's just something I look up to. I love the fact that you're able to do that, and I aspire to get to that point myself. So, do you have any tips for the people who are starting to come into their own and try and get into that next stage, I guess, in their own mind, or what some maybe something that they can do to help them align themselves to be somewhat more in that direction?
Absolutely. Yeah. So our intuition and our spiritual gifts are muscles, just like our body. So it's going to start with the five senses before we can start with the sixth sense or the seventh sense, which is our intuition. So the more that you can start to take care of your body, be in your body, meditation is really powerful. And it's just about, taking it one step at a time without judging yourself. If you're not seeing full movies in your third eye yet, it's like, well, when are you showing up every day at that same time on your mat and meditating? Or are you doing yoga? Are you doing the things that are getting you into that space? It's taken me several years to get to a space where I can access this type of energy. So I feel like that patience and that self love is so important. But as long as you keep going, you will get there.
What were some of your inspirations to come out of that trance-like state and kind of woke you up? Or once you started to wake up, you looked to those people to sort of guide your path?
Oh, okay. So are you asking about like mentors or people that have inspired you?
Mentors, maybe books, whatever kind of engaged you to be like, yes, let's go. Like now it's go time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I would have to say one of the books that has changed my reality is called The Sofia Code, and it's written by Kaya Ra. And she was a mentor of mine at the very beginning of my journey. And so just learning from her, not only in how she channeled the Ascended Masters, but also how she ran a very successful business as an internationally best-selling author has made a huge impact on me. And then I've had like other mentors that have come into play, but I can't think of any other than I feel like the Sophia Code is a wonderful book, and it's all about activating the divine feminine consciousness within you to awaken your carbon DNA into your crystalline chromosomes.
Wow. Wow, that's an epic sounds like an epic title. I definitely have to look into it too. One of the things that I love doing is sitting in that meditation. Do you have any specific meditations that you practice to get into certain aspects of what you do when channeling? Is there something that you do specifically? Do you keep to the same routine all the time? Or do you switch it up once in a while, maybe a different oil or, something to really get you into a different headspace?
Yeah, great question. So I do have a few. So sometimes I'll listen to certain binaural beats or frequency meditation. There's a Pleiadian one that I really enjoy listening to. Sometimes I enjoy guided meditations that give me like a mantra or something. I feel like that's really helpful, especially when you have something to focus on when your mind kind of starts to go all over the place. And Stuart Wilde is actually another person that's been a huge inspiration for me. And he teaches all about the theta metronome. So it takes you into the theta wave frequencies. And it almost sounds like, for those of us that remember like the landlines, when you didn't put the phone on the thing, how it would make that deep, 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 deep.
Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah,
beep. Yep.
yeah, so it's very much like that. And so when you listen to that daily for 20 to 30 minutes, it takes you into that theta wave state that will make it easier and easier for you to access those intuitive gifts and abilities that you have.
That's awesome. I love tonal meditations where I think there's one that's like 949 or something like that. That's just
Mhm.
it just opens me up and I feel like I'm flying when I'm using that. But I love the tonal stuff too. It really gets me sort of focused on something so I'm not my mind doesn't wander. So that's amazing. And I love how a lot of our journeys are the same yet different. And that always, it leads me to ask more questions because I'm always so intrigued about somebody's journey to where they are right now. And I don't know if that's sort of like my talk show host coming out, but it really does it really gets me going. I really love it.
Yeah, it's definitely so fascinating. And as I shared, our story is our greatest gift. And when we get to hear other people's stories and how they got to where they are, it's so empowering and inspirational.
Absolutely is. Absolutely is. So we've been putting your Instagram and your website in the chat as you were presenting, so people can get there. Is there any other sites that you have that you'd like to promote to people before we have about 5 minutes left?
Yeah, sure. So, my Instagram and TikTok, of course, is at official Meagan Mermaid. And then you can check out my website at meaganmermaid.com. And this month, I'll be doing a Starseed journey with the Octurians to activate the Cosmic Warrior. And that's March 30th at 3:30 p.m. Pacific. And so, if you just click on the activations tab at the top, you'll be able to be taken there. And I'm doing a group journey every month with the different star nations.
Awesome. Awesome. One last question too. With society being the way it is right now, and I don't want to get into specifics, but what do you see as the next step for people like us?
It's all just self-love, like, once you're on that self-love journey, you're gonna know intuitively what your next step is, and the more of us that are in this relationship with our heart and the relationship with our emotions, the more of us are really going to connect, and all of the next steps will just start to unravel and happen naturally because we're gonna be in that divine alignment.
It sounds amazing. Well, I can tell by the chats that the people loved what you were saying, and you did a hell of a job on the presentation. It was wonderful to listen to, and I can't wait to collaborate with you again. And it's just been an honor and a privilege to have you here.
Thank you, Rob. It was such a privilege to be here and to hear all of the other amazing speakers as well. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, Megan. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch soon. We're going to do something else soon. We're going to get a panel. I think we're going to start doing a couple more panels, just bringing people together because I love doing that. And then they get to interact with each other. And that's sometimes when you learn even more than you thought you were going to. So I appreciate you coming through, and we appreciate you coming through.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great rest of the evening.